backyard. Hopefully, there won't be any staff meetings going on in the neighbor's yard behind us. But if they are, we just welcome it as a distraction. Um, so, my name is Erin, and I'm delighted. Oh, you can't see me, can you? Hang on. Let me move the camera. Ooh, there we go. Now you can see me. If you have trouble hearing or seeing me during class, just turn your stuff on and let me know. So my name is Erin San. I own Eat Yoga Drink, and I'm delighted to bring you this class every day, Monday through Friday. Today's class is sponsored generously by the Energy Club in Shirlington. They're starting to put their heads together and clean up all the equipment and figure out a way to start bringing you guys some outdoor classes in addition to the wonderful, robust offerings of online classes that we're still bringing to you each day. So keep your eyes open for the Energy Club correspondence so that you too can join a live class soon. So today's, or actually this whole week, in case you missed all my social media blasting, we're focusing on different parts of the body. As you know, our bodies are very interconnected. So as we work on one part of the body, we truly can't dismiss the functioning of other parts of the body that are connected. So today we're doing the feet, the toes, and the legs, working to stretch and strengthen those parts of the body. But as you know, the legs are connected to the hips, and the hips support the spine, and the spine supports the back. And so you'll feel it throughout other parts of the body too, but the emphasis primarily will be on the legs. So I want you to pay attention to the musculature of the legs, and I'll guide you through a little bit of mindful awareness of that as we go, and the joints that are within the legs. And just hold with you during practice today a really strong sense of gratitude for the power that your legs have and all that your legs do to support you, to invite mobility, to take you from here to there, to give you an opportunity to run and dance and do all of the things that you really enjoy doing while you're upright. So bicycle, I think about the cyclists out there too, swimming. So just be grateful for the body, and particularly today, the legs. All right. So come onto your back. We're going to start in a Shavasana shape. This way. Lay your body down. Take a big body stretch. Ooh, make some noise. Ah! Release any tightness or tension. And then after you've wiggled and jiggled just a little bit, start to come into a settled shape for just a moment. I was introduced to a poet just this morning, actually. And her name is Morgan Harper Nichols. Maybe you're familiar with her. She's a Black American modern poet and graphic designer. So I'm going to start and end with the same poem today because I think it's profound and I think it needs to be heard more than once. So just as you settle in, take a big breath and exhale to let it all go. Empathy says, "Let me hold the door for you. I may never have walked in your shoes, but I can see your soles are worn. Your strength is torn under the weight of a story I have never lived before. Let me hold the door for you after all you've walked through. It's the least I can do." Such a beautiful poem and expression of compassion and empathy that so many of us hold so heavily in our hearts right now. With all the injustices that we've witnessed, all the unspeakable crimes that have been cast against innocent humans, particularly those of color. Let this serve as a reminder that we are all one. And as we bring our attention today, our focus on our legs, let your legs serve as a reminder that you have the ability to stand up for what you believe to be true and just and right in this world. Exercise your strength and your power to stand up. Start to notice sensations in your breath, where you feel it entering the body, how you feel it exiting the body. Make a promise to yourself that you will exercise your compassion on your own body today, being open-minded, being aware, being loving toward your legs and your feet and your toes, no matter what. Maybe in the past they've been the source of, pain, or maybe in the past they haven't been your favorite body parts, but let them be your favorite. So you really appreciate all that they do for you. No matter whether you like the way they look, whether you love the way they look, no matter what, just come to build a greater sense of appreciation for your legs, your feet, your toes. Start to flex the feet. So pressing the heels away from you, draw the toes toward you. And then point the feet, pressing the toes away, drawing the heels in. Flex. And point. Noticing that each time we flex the feet, we're slackening in the muscles in the front of the leg, lengthening and tightening the muscles in the back of the leg, those calves, the hamstrings. And as you point, you start to soften the muscles in the back of the leg, slackening them and lengthening the muscles in the front of the leg. And just be aware of this oppositional force. None of these muscles work in isolation. Really come to appreciate the articulation of your ankle. And then start to move the toes a little bit, wiggling them. And then keep your left foot extended. Draw your right knee in towards your chest. Feeling flexion right at the hip. Take your strap, which hopefully is close by, strap or t-shirt or long sock, and wrap it around the ball of the right foot as you start to straighten the leg up toward the sky. Slide the hands down as much as you can so that you're not death gripping and squeezing into the shoulders at all. Let them relax. Just gently guide your nose up toward the top of the mat. I'm sorry, your nose. Guide your knee up toward the top of the mat, towards your nose, as you actively press your left heel away from you. Be present for whatever you're noticing in the legs right now. Breathe into any tightness. Really slow, deep breaths. One more breath. Nice. And we're going to keep the strap onto the foot. Lower the heel down toward the earth. Now, if whatever you're using isn't long enough, then you can just let it go. But if you do have a strap, you want that right heel to hover just a few inches from the earth and slowly start to open up the leg to the right. And then close the leg, bringing it back toward the left. Just working your abductor on the outer edge of the thigh And your adductors, you draw the thigh back toward the left. If you don't have a strap, that's fine. You can still find this engagement, keeping the foot flexed, opening the leg, and closing the leg. Keep the thigh engaged. Keep the toes pointing up. 2 more. Really focused control. Nice. And then release the right leg down to the earth to meet the left. And just take notice of what you're feeling, what you're sensing in the legs. Typically, people report here the right leg feeling about a foot longer than the left. Know that that's a benefit of the stretch. And then start to draw your left knee in toward your chest as you press the right heel away from you. Make sure you take deep breaths into the body. And then when you're ready, wind the strap or whatever you're using to bind around the ball of the left foot as you lift the left leg up to the sky, drawing the nose or the knee, I keep calling it the nose, the knee toward the top of the mat, but actively press the right heel away from you. Create a little space in the hips. Jaw soft. Shoulders are relaxed. Breath is deep. One more breath. And slowly lower the heel, the left heel to hover about 2 inches from the earth. If you have a strap, place both straps, the ends, into the left hand. If you don't have a strap, it's fine. Just keep the leg lifted by engaging the musculature. As you inhale, open the leg to the left, and exhale, bring the left leg back to meet the right. Inhale and exhale. 4 more times. Slowly isolating the muscles in the leg that are opening and closing. Nice. And when you are done, release the strap if you had it. Bring both knees in toward your chest. And very slowly start to roll up to a seated position with those legs extended out in front of you. So another way to get into the hamstring is through a forward fold. So you can bend the knees as much as you need to here. We're going to lift up, create length in the spine. And as you exhale, start to hinge forward. And just let the body soften into this fold. Let each deep breath melt you a little bit more by releasing resistance. Big breath in. Full breath out. Slowly make your way back up. We're going to cross the ankles and find our way into a table position where I invite you to start to bring a little movement into the spine. Remember that our legs are not isolated from the rest of the body. They plug into our hips, and our hips are there to help support the base of the spine. So we always want to, no matter what body part we're working on, we want to work into the spine. So here we're going to articulate it in some cat and cows. Drop the belly, heart draws forward as you inhale. And exhale, press the earth away, creating space between the vertebrae and the back, lifting. You'll notice as you do this, you're starting to warm up the core muscles as well. The core is fundamental in supporting all the muscle groups of the body. And you can keep moving like this, or feel free to get y'all sexy cat and cow on, as some people call it, and just start to move the hips around, stirring up whatever the body needs right now to awaken. This is a Monday morning. Take 5 more breaths, exploring your body in the sacred space you've carved out for yourself today. Any way that feels good, no rules. All right. Two more breaths. And then at the end of that second breath, send the hips all the way back to the heels. You can bring the knees narrow if you like, or keep them a little bit more wide, maybe not as wide as you would getting into the hips. We want to just stretch through the hammies just a little. Through the quadriceps just a little bit. Walk the hands forward, dip the chest down toward the earth, melt the armpits down toward the earth as well. Keep sinking the tailbone back and down, feeling the flexion into the hips. Take one more breath, knowing that this is a space that you can arrive back to anytime you would like a little break in your practice. Big breath in, full breath out. Nice. From here, come back into a table position and extend your right leg behind you, flexing into the foot once again, toe down, heel up, and drop the ball of the foot down to the earth and rock your weight into that foot, giving a really nice stretch into the calf. Notice if you can create more space between the shoulders and the ears here. Keep your hips level. Big breath in. Full breath out. One more. You can intensify this even by lifting the left knee if you want. It just makes the calf stretch that much greater. One more breath. And then release the left knee. Step the right foot between the hands, and we're going to rise up into a low lunge. Stack the palms on top of your thigh and just move a little bit forwards and backwards. We're looking here to help out with the left hip flexor. We'll dive a little bit deeper into the hips tomorrow, but remember that we need our hip flexors to be warmed up in order for us to get effectively into the legs. And if I was teaching you live, I would have brought a big sack of tennis balls or some kind of hard sports ball so that we could roll a little bit. So if you have a lacrosse ball or a really strong practice tennis ball, I advise you to just spend a little time rolling the bottom of your foot on top of the ball just to activate a little myofascial release so that you can feel a little bit more pliable in the muscles of the leg. It's really magical. If you've never done it before, you can stick around after class. I can talk to you a little bit about it, or you can look it up or just try it. All right, we're going to send the hips back, coming into a half split. The fascia is the connective tissues of the body that help sort of encase your muscles, which support your joints. So when you invite a release, it helps to increase circulation and stimulation in all of the tissues of the body. So you're going to feel a little bit less tight. Keep pressing the tailbone back, crown of the head forward. One more big breath. Beautiful. And then from here, come back into a table position. Take 2 breaths to move, however it feels natural for you to do so. And then come back to your neutral table with the shoulders stacked over the wrist. Press the left leg back really nice and firmly, driving the ball of the foot into the earth. Send the weight back into that heel. Again, the option to lift the right knee if you want. Starts to bring a little heat into the core and it intensifies the stretch into that left side calf. 2 more breaths. 1 more breath. Nice. Release the knee if it's lifted. Step the left foot between the hands, coming into your low lunge. And again, just move a little bit. Very small micro movements. Or feel free to find stillness if that feels better for you. Take 2 more breaths. And then shift back into your half Hanumanasana. And don't let me stop you. If you have a fuller expression of a split, feel free to slide that left foot all the way forward. It's nice to put a little dish rag or a t-shirt underneath that left heel to help you glide if you're on a soft, smooth surface, like a hardwood floor or laminate floor. I'm not going to try it out here on my splintered deck that I made even more splintery when I power washed it this weekend. I had a lot of fun, but I think I did a little damage, but it's all good. Shoulders relax away from the ears. Crown of the head reaches forward. 1 more big breath. Beautiful. From here, we're going to come back into tabletop. Flex both feet, driving the toes down and the ball of the feet into the earth, and sink your hips back towards your heel. What? Yes. So your toes are pointing to the front of the mat, heels to the back of the mat. It's an intense stretch. Breathe. 3 more breaths. You got this. One more deep breath. All righty, there we go. We got our toe stretch in. Come back to tabletop, uncurl the toes, and tap the top of the feet to the earth. Oh, that feels so good, doesn't it? All right, from here, we're going to come back to downward or come into downward facing dog. So go ahead and flex those feet again, curl the toes, and rock into the balls of the feet, melting the heels, downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. So think about drawing the inner ankles together, even though they're not going to meet each other. It's just an isometric pull. And then think about pressing the backs of the knees back behind you and spinning the inner thighs toward one another. Just a little subtle shift. You're not going to see anything move. It's just more of an activation within the muscles of the legs. Tailbone high to the sky, chest back toward your thighs. Big breath in. Full breath out. On the inhale, we're going to find a 3-legged dog. So let me just tell you before that, the way the class is going to work is as we find our shapes, we're going to make it dynamic just to adjust and create space. And then we're going to invite some holds. Okay, so if the holds are uncomfortable for you, just notice what's holding you back. Why are they uncomfortable? If you're having pain, if there's a reason why you shouldn't be doing this, then adjust and modify. Really listen to your body. But if it's just uncomfortable or you're getting bored, try to sit through it for a little bit. Breathe into it. Just hold the space for it. All right, so here we go. So we're going to lift the right leg high to the sky as if you're trying to tap the clouds with your heel. And then as you exhale, bring the right foot back down. Inhale, right foot high, 3-legged dog. No shift in the hips. We're just lifting that leg straight up and down. And do that twice more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. This time as you inhale, lifting the right leg, send it up and hold it. Don't hold your breath. We're going to take 5 more deep breaths right here. Squeeze into that glute, squeeze into the hamstring, squeeze into the quadricep. One more big breath. Lift it a little higher, squeeze a little tighter. And then draw the knee towards your nose. Step the right foot between the hands. And the left foot is going to join forward fold. And once you hang here, just take opposite elbows, bend and straighten into the legs, circle those hips around. Notice if you're feeling something, what are you noticing and where are you noticing it? And remember that our awareness is filled with compassion and not with shame, not with judgment, just love. All right, release your hands, press into the earth, rise all the way up. And exhale, fold back down. Halfway lift to a long spine, press the tailbone back and fold. Twice more like that. Inhale, rise up, drive the heels down into the earth. Exhale, surrender. Halfway lift, flat back and fold. Last one, take your time, rise up tall. Melt back down. Flatten the back, hands to shins. And plant the hands. We're going to step back into a high plank. From high plank, downward facing dog. So invite the tailbone high to the sky. Really tip it up. Melt the chest down. Heels keep trying to arrive to the earth. And then on the inhale, left heel straight up to the sky. So no shift in the hips, just left heel high. Exhale, left toes down. Inhale, left heel high. Exhale, down. Two more. Slow and controlled. This time, as you lift that left heel high, leave it up there. Maybe even go a little higher and hold it and squeeze everything as you take 5 deep breaths. One more big breath. And bring the nose toward the knee, or knee toward the nose. I don't know why I keep getting those confused today. Step the foot between the hands. Right foot joins, forward fold. Rise all the way up, 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 up. Exhale, fold back down. Halfway lift, hands to shins, long spine, and fold. Twice more. Press into the heels. Rise up. Use that power. Halfway lift. And fold. Last one. Beautiful. From here, if you have your blocks handy, bring them to the front of your mat. And we're slowly going to rise all the way up. Bring your hands right to your heart. We're going to take an intense leg stretch, otherwise known as a pyramid pose. So your right foot is going to come between the blocks, and your left foot is going to step back so that you are widening the stance as much as you want to activate this stretch. So it's one of those choose your own adventure shapes. Know that ideally the legs are going to be straight, but you always have the invitation to micro bend in the knees so that you're not locking into your joints. Hips are squared to the front. And again, we're going to move a little bit and then we're going to get situated. So as you inhale, lift the arms up. As you exhale, we're going to go about a quarter of the way to come into a diagonal shape. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, diagonal. And keep this whole time, you're spinning those inner thighs toward one another, squeezing the muscles to the bones. Inhale. Exhale. Last one, big breath in. Come into that extended shape And then slowly hinge at the hips, bringing the hands down toward the blocks or the earth or a stack of books or whatever you've got going on. 2 big old cans of beans works as well. So you want to draw your left hip forward and your right butt cheek, you want to lift up and press it back. All right, and don't be afraid to just get your hands on there and do it manually. Lift it up and press it back as the left hip comes forward. Take a big breath. Maybe go a little deeper as you exhale. Let the head hang. We'll take 4 more deep breaths here. So try not to think about that as much as just being present for the sensation, breathing love into the tightness. All right, from here, we're going to rise all the way back up, and we're going to shift into the right foot, bringing the left knee up into our chest. All right, so coming into a stork pose. From here, we're going to send that left heel back, keeping the foot flexed, heel up, toe down, finding warrior 3. And then we're going to take some little Shiva squats. So you're going to, as you inhale, extend, pressing the heel back. As you exhale, bring the left knee behind the right knee bends as well. All right. Inhale to extend. Exhale, bend. Really strong quad work and glute work here. If you're having trouble balance, hold on to something. Got my Charbroil grill here. You probably have a wall or a chair. Doesn't diminish the effort. It just keeps you from having to balance on top of everything. 2 more. You got it. One more. Nice. Come back to warrior 3. And then release the right foot to meet the left. I'm sorry, left foot to meet the right. And then shake it. Oh, yeah. Feeling a little burn in there, aren't you? All right. So shake out what you need. And then come back to the top of the mat with those blocks, if you have them. Left foot between the blocks. Right foot steps back. Different lane of traffic, preparing for your pyramid pose. So root down through both feet. Feel your stability. Feel where you rise. Draw the effort into contracting through the muscles. And then when you're ready, inhale, lift up. Exhale, quarter of the way. Nice diagonal shape. Inhale, lift. Exhale, reach. 2 more. And if you notice that you're not really feeling anything in the legs, just widen your stance. If you're feeling too much, make the stance a little more narrow. Right here. Reach, reach, reach. Long spine. And then slowly melt into your fold. Inviting the earth a little closer to you with the blocks. And that's where we want to try to welcome the right hip a little closer. And that left booty, we want to lift up and press back. All right, up and back. And surrender into this fold, this deep, intense leg stretch. Make sure the jaw, shoulders are relaxed. 4 more deep breaths. The one between the feet. And then slowly make your way back up. Step into your left foot. Right knee draws up to your chest. stork pose. So find a tall spine here. And then warrior three, pressing the right heel back, toes pointing down, and again, micro bend in that standing leg, whatever you need. Take a big breath in. Exhale, bend both knees, a little Shiva squat. Press back up. Inhale. Exhale. You got it. 3 more. Woo. One more. Big breath in. Squat it on down. And then come back into a standing shape at the top of the mat. All right. So we're going to integrate this a little bit, bringing either the toe mounts to touch, thighs squeeze together, or separating the legs just hip distance apart. We're going to come into Utkatasana chair pose. Take a big breath in. Exhale, sink the hips low. Inhale, drive through the heels, rise back up. Exhale, chair pose. Keep the belly nice and engaged. Inhale. Exhale. Remember, booty goes back. You don't want the knees forward. And right here, we settle into our chair. We're going to hold it for 5 breaths, but don't hold your breath, so make sure you're deeper. Squeeze those glutes. Squeeze those thighs. Squeeze that Uddiyana Bandha right in the belly. One more big breath. Right here, start to rock into the balls of the feet, lifting the heels. And then melt your chest towards your thighs. Reach your arms back behind you, drinking bird. For 5 breaths. You've got it. Breathe into the tightness. Breathe into discomfort. One more big breath. And then slowly lower the hips to the heels. Woo! We're coming into a toe squat here. Another little stretch for the toes. Hopefully you can see mine right there. So their spine is nice and tall. Giving a really good stretch to those toes. Nice little balancing shape. One more big breath. And then use the strength of your thighs and your glutes to press back up to standing. There we go. All right. So from the top of your mat, and I'm actually going to turn this way. From the top of your mat, we're going to step the left foot back, finding a warrior 1. I'm sorry, that's a warrior 2. Warrior 2. Warrior 2. So wide stance, right toe is pointing to the top of the mat. Left foot is parallel to the short edge of the mat. And then heel toe that right foot over to the right edge of the mat, just to open up the hips a little bit more than maybe where you arrived originally, so that your heels are in line. Yes. And feel those thighs spinning open. All right. Reach those arms out. Relax the shoulders. As you inhale, straighten the front leg, palms connect. As you exhale, sink a little deeper. Inhale. Exhale. Each time you revisit your warrior 2 legs, that right knee is tracking out toward the pinky toe. Right here, settle for your warrior 2. Not only are you spinning open through that front thigh, but you're really engaging to that back hip. Squeezing the glute, squeezing that abductor. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. We got 3 more breaths here. And then on your exhale, start to bring your right forearm down to your right thigh, extended side angle. So if you want, you can bring the right hand down to a block or to the earth inside of the right ankle. Long energy from the edge of the left foot out through the left fingertips. 2 more breaths. After that second breath, bring the left hand down to the earth and walk both hands to the center, finding a wide-legged forward fold. So turn the right toes forward just a little bit. Inhale, halfway lift to a flat back. Exhale, melt down. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, melt. 2 more. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. And exhale, bow down and fold. Let the crown of the head hang. Maybe shake the head yes and no. Really feel those adductors drawing together. So feel the inner thighs like magnets just trying to find one another. Breathe in. Breathe out. 2 more breaths. And then come halfway lift and heel toe the feet in just a little bit and start to sink down into a really wide malasana. And maybe you don't come down super low, just come down low enough so that you can really feel it in the legs. Move a little bit from side to side. We're going to shift over to the right side, finding skandasana. So for here, we want to flex into that left foot. And maybe you take your left hand and you draw the toes toward the knee, strengthening the stretch inside the leg. Take 1 more breath. And release that bind. Shift the hips up through center, over to the left, skandasana. Left hand can root down, right hand can bind on the right foot, drawing your toes towards your knee, straightening. I'm not straightening, stretching a little deeper. Deep breaths. And then release that bind, come right back into center. And we're going to press our way back up into a wide-legged stance. And then find warrior 2 to the other side. So your right foot is parallel to the short edge of the mat. Left toes point forward for warrior 2. So create some space. Heel toe your left foot out to the left a little bit. Open up just a little bit more. Arms are nice and wide. Inhale, straighten the leg. Palms connect. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, lift. Exhale, warrior 2. 2 more movement before we settle. And right here, find your edge. Three more deep breaths. As you exhale after that third breath, extended side angle. Left forearm to the left thigh, or the hand comes down to the earth with the right arm reaching up and over. Two more breaths. After After that second breath, right hand comes down to the earth. Walk back to center, wide-legged forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift to a flat back. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, melt. One more. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, melt. Inhale, rise all the way up. Draw the heels in, toes out. Goddess pose. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, sink. Again, thinking about spinning the hips open, knees track out toward the pinky edge of the feet. One more movement, then we settle. Inhale. Exhale. Real slow descent here. Last one. Big breath in. Let's bring the hands right to the heart, center of compassion, where we find patience and love here for the body for 5 breaths. Maybe you close your eyes and become a little contemplative here. If this is the worst you endure today, consider yourself very lucky. Two more big breaths. You got this. One more big breath. Beautiful. Slowly press back up. Heel toe those feet back together and give them a shake. Yeah. Shake, 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 shake. You guys are doing great. Just doing a time check here. All right. All right. From here, come back to one edge of your mat. Take a big breath in. We're going to come right back into Utkatasana chair pose. Squeeze those thighs toward one another. Sit the booty nice and low. Lift through the chest. And slowly make your way back down into that toe squat. And then from here, we're going to come all the way down onto our butte. And either using the strap or using your hand, we're going to take a bind around the ball of the right foot and extend the leg out. So you can keep that knee bent, the left knee bent if you want, or you can straighten it, either one. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, open it up to the right a little bit. And don't use your arm to open it. Use your leg to open the leg. So use the muscles. And then exhale, use the adductor to bring the muscles, the leg back in. Inhale, use the muscles to open the leg out. Exhale, use those muscles to bring the leg back in. 2 more. Nice. Right here, we're going to bend, release the bind, bend the right knee and bring the foot to cross over the left thigh, coming into a seated figure 4 shape. So just bring your chest closer to your leg, sit up nice and tall. Keep breathing. And then we're going to keep crossing that right leg over the left and bend the left leg, swinging the left foot over to the right edge of the mat, just to pretzel twist those legs a little bit into a twist. So sit up nice and tall and twist to your right as you draw the right knee toward the midline. Always inhaling to find more extension in the spine, exhaling deeper. Nice. Come back into center, uncross the legs, do your little Rockettes kick. Ooh, 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 And then we'll take that on the other side. So your strap, your bind will go around the ball of the left foot. So feel a nice stretch. Keep that foot active, keep the leg active. And as you inhale, use the muscles to open the leg to the left. Exhale, draw the leg back to center. Inhale to open. Exhale to close. 4 more. Sitting up tall, checking in with your posture. Last one. Nice. Let go of the strap. Cross the left ankle over the right. 5. Giving a nice stretch into the hip. We'll revisit some figure fours tomorrow when we're doing hip day. Two more breaths. And then swing that right heel over toward the left sit bone. Plant the left foot down onto the earth. Sit up nice and tall. Hug the knee in. Twist to your left. And then come back into center. One last chance to be a rocket. Woo, 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 woo. And then roll down onto your backs. If you have a block, bring it with you. We're going to do something that is a really nice gift to your legs, is a legs up the wall or waterfall pose. So if you have a block, it's nice to support your hips, just making the inversion a little bit more effective. And then send your legs straight up to the sky. So many benefits to this shape, one of which is to calm the nervous system. So it may help you prepare for sleep if you have trouble sleeping these days. Another is to offer a little more circulation to the lymphatic fluid, which is the fluid that helps you naturally detox. And so just gives your circulation a little bit, your blood circulation a chance to restore itself along with the lymphatic fluid. So if you're prone to getting swollen ankles and feet, this is a nice way to treat yourself. So we'll take 10 more breaths here. Just find a little peace in this shape. Staying present with the breath. Notice how easily the mind wanders. And the more you practice, the more you're able to bring it on back. 3 more breaths. If you're using something to bolster your hips, gently move it out of the way. Draw your knees in towards your chest. Wrap your hands around your shins. Just give a little massage to the toes, to the feet, to the legs, giving thanks with each tender touch. What a blessing your legs are. What an absolute gift. Give them a kiss. Mwah, mwah. Give them a big hug. And then when you're ready, just unfurl the body in any shape that's comfortable for your final rest. Taking a few moments to yourself to celebrate your being. And when the time is right, I will awaken you again with that beautiful poem. Empathy says, "Let me hold the door for you. I may have never walked in your shoes, but I can see your soles are worn. Your strength is torn under the weight of a story I have never lived before. Let me hold the door for you. After all you've walked through, it's the least I can do." Beautiful words from Morgan Harper Nichols. Once again, bringing awareness to sensations in your legs, in your feet, in your toes. Giving thanks to those limbs. And remembering they offer you the opportunity to stand up tall and proud, courageously fighting for all you believe to be true and just in this world. Start to breathe deeper and move into the body. Eventually taking your time, but making your way up to a comfortable seat. Once you arrive, place palm over palm right on your heart space. Noticing how you're feeling. Notice what's present. And remember that while we individually may not have the power to entirely change the world, you can change your own world by changing your perspective and holding nothing but kind, loving, compassionate thoughts, and saying nothing but kind, loving, compassionate words, and doing nothing but kind, loving, compassionate actions out into the world. It all begins with you. Thank you so much for practicing with us today. It is always a delight. Namaste. Thank you so much. Morgan Harper Nichols wrote a poetry anthology that I just ordered this morning called All Along You Were Blooming. So as soon as that comes, you may hear me reading a lot of her work. So I hope you enjoyed her as much as I did. And as always, if you have any questions about the practice, I am here for you. And we are working our way around the body this week. And today, as you know, was legs. Tomorrow will be hips. Wednesday